All right, so I'm calling the meeting of the Whitman Hanson School Committee. Whitman Hanson, all right.
Whitman.
Take two. The Whitman Aid to the Elderly and Disabled Taxation Fund.
There you go.
Committee.
Committee, thank you.
Fun committee, yeah.
Fun committee, yep.
Yeah.
The fun committee. All right.
This is being recorded for broadcast on WHCA. President is myself, Ryan Trussell, the chair.
Heidi Hosmer.
Jackie Malahy, Principal Assessor.
Ken Layla.
Debbie O'Brien.
And John Galvin guest.
Okay. All right. So first on our agenda is public comment, which you're the only one with a public here, John. So I don't know. If,
Well, she's a public.
I guess
she
it's all right. Well, I get public
she's a
speaking.
guest as well.
Okay. Yeah.
It's true, yeah.
So is there anything? Any comment on things that are not on the agenda before we start? Okay. So next is approval of meeting minutes of May 13th, rather. Excuse me. You guys get a chance to look at these?
I looked at them even though I wasn't here.
Motion to accept.
Okay. Oh,
Can I second that?
Yep.
Even,
You
yeah,
can.
because I
Yep.
read them. Second.
yep. And then any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Are you
Unanimous.
voting or are you abstaining, Heidi?
I should abstain, right?
You don't have to.
Okay.
I don't have to abstain?
You can agree that the minutes are correct, but you
But
can
she wasn't
abstain.
here at the meeting.
Doesn't
Did she?
matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter?
Doesn't
Wow.
matter. Most people do abstain, but you don't have to. You gonna?
I just don't want anyone to.
That's gonna
Yeah.
get confusing in the.
Okay, so what we'll say
I know.
clear, it's 2 yays. Well, Deb, you
I
voted
think,
3 yays and an abstention. Okay.
There you go.
Got it.
All right. So speaking of Deb, next up we have the account balance update.
Hit the $5,000 mark.
All right.
Hey.
By $10, but yep, it did hit that $5,000 mark. So
Nice. And as far as the Friends group, it's unchanged at this point. I shouldn't say that. It's $100 more.
Okay.
We opened. Well, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, so that's good. So we're 7,000 right now. Is what it sounds like. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So the next thing is the release of the application. So the application is up on the website for. We haven't done anything, obviously, and we're talking about this with kind of bundling of Whitman Day. We haven't really advertised that the application is live yet, but I did send it to Josh McNeil. He did get up on the website. I did check; it is there. So at any point, people might start sending in applications for this. So the other part of this is the outreach part. So part of this is we talked about with Whitman Day, which we can kind of bundle into this because the Friends group has a table at Whitman Day.
Correct.
So the question I had that occurred to me after our last meeting, John, is because I know we talked about some members of this committee maybe joining at the table, but would that affect the prohibition about us raising
So
funds?
you're there basically to answer questions.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I don't, you know,
I mean, I don't know.
just
I don't-
don't. Heidi said she'd be there all day with me, and Deb said she'd be there for a couple hours. I think we're, you know, as long as members of this committee do not mention anything about donations.
Yeah, no
Just
solicitation.
there to answer. You know, if there's any questions on donations, they'll send them to me, and
Yeah, I just discuss them.
yeah. I mean, so
Just
and
like-
what and
Yeah.
how that works.
I mean, I think obviously we talked about that last time, but then I don't know who is going to be at Women Day policing that kind of stuff. But it just did occur to me, the idea is if we're at the same table, if that created some kind of problem because
I
Jackie,
think
who is new
the
here,
primary
we're not allowed
policing
to-
agent is maybe sitting right there.
Okay.
She was the one that came up with all of the details on that. So, I mean, you know.
yeah, I think it's as far as it's if we can't ask for any. And
Right.
like I think
Right.
if we just have absolutely nothing to do with donations, we're
We're
fine
fine,
answering
and that's-
questions on the application side of it.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yep.
That's
Because
correct.
that was just for Jackie's sake and for anyone that will be watching this, listening to this later. We discovered after we formed this committee that the committee itself can't do any kind of solicitation for funds for the which is why John, who really kind of spearheaded a lot of this, stepped off of the committee to form a Friends of the Women Aid to the Elderly Committee to raise money and raise funds for it, because right now, I think under the statute, the only way that on tax bills it has a checkbox for people to make donations
Yes.
through their various, it's the property taxes, I think the excise taxes, to the fund, but we can't advertise or we can't run kind of any kind of thing to supplement that. So the Friends group was started by John so that they could raise funds and then donate those funds to that fund. And then so then the question became about Whitman Day, which is on Saturday, 10 to 4, correct?
10 to 4.
They're going to have a table set up, and we initially had said, a member from the committee will be there to answer questions about the application. But I just wanted to check, because after I left here, I had concerns about, I didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Both going to be under the same tent? The Friends Inn?
But yeah, we don't have our own tent. We're
Yeah.
still
Okay.
the Friends tent.
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to sit,
But I'm just not going to talk about, Debbie,
Yeah, anything
we're not going to
donation
talk
or-
about donations at all. Any donation questions, we're going to defer them right to John.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to get involved in that part.
Yeah,
Because we can't be.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, okay, that was just one thing that occurred to me after, I think the thing where,
Right,
when you're
right,
walking
right.
home or whatever after the meeting, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. So, so in terms of Whitman Day, so Heidi, you're going,
Yeah, I'll be
and
there.
Deb is going
I
to
go in the morning.
be. So is the table covered? Do we need?
So Heidi and I will be there all day.
Okay.
That's right.
Would you say a 10
I
to
feel like 10 to 12.
10 to 12? So if somebody wants to come in the afternoon,
Okay.
if you're available in the afternoon, then
I won't know till Saturday because right now the cert thing is up in the air.
Yeah,
'Cause
that-
the truck's out of service.
Oh,
So,
so that's fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think
we'll be fine.
we're good.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, we are in Zone 6, which is over by the basketball court,
Okay.
and that's where all the community groups are.
Okay.
Okay.
We are table number 48, which apparently there'll be a big cone saying Zone 6, and then there'll be a bunch of little cones where all the-
Okay, so just
so-
walk into the park and.
Yeah, so I have a tent, I have a table.
Okay.
I thought I had folding chairs. I gave them to my son, and he loaned them out to some of his neighbors. But so I'm gonna bring like a
I'll bring
Beach chair.
I'll bring one of my chairs.
Yeah, so-
I'll bring a chair.
I'll have 2 chairs and whatever you're comfortable in.
Yeah, I'll bring a chair.
And discussing this last night with my wife and daughter, that we are going to have a cooler of small drinks. We'll also have
Okay.
like some kind of little snacky thing in it.
And we can just take turns and go get lunch at the food truck. Or
Correct,
whatever.
correct. So just to have something to give away, to kind of
Yeah,
give, maybe like a little bag of goldfish or kind of like a mixed whatever.
Okay.
So we'll have that to hand out. The question is how many, I think in handing out applications, and I can print applications,
Yeah, I was going to say.
I would think the suggestion would be to use what we give you as a worksheet and then
Right.
go to the online so that you can type it all in, because we specifically on the online form, people can type in the information instead of handwrite it. It's some of the areas are pretty small, so trying to do it handwritten, especially for elderly people. So use the handout that we give you. This is the
Yeah.
application, but use it as a worksheet, and when you get it all ready to go,
And
go to the online, and you can go to the online. The Council on Aging is going to be
Jill
more than
Getchell
happy to
will help
assist
them.
in that. Jill Getchell especially would be the name we'll throw out. Go see Jill Getchell. She'll help
you get it in
She'll
there.
help you fill it out and submit it and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 'cause
so
she said she would. So that's good.
so that's kind of the plan for Whitman Day.
And that's probably a lot of the questions I might get. How do I fill out the application?
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I plan to get there around 9:00 or so.
Okay.
Apparently Maple Street, which is on the backside, which is
Yeah, where should I?
is going to be closed at 8. So you will be able to drive around and enter if you wanted to drop something off, say your chair or
Oh, I
whatever.
can carry my chair.
Well, I'm just saying that the loop is going to be down
I See, I'm trying to.
South Ave to the next block, come back, and then come up, and you can enter that dirt road next to the pool that cuts through.
All right, I'm going to have to
and
drive.
drive
around
through,
and figure
drive
that out.
through, drop off, and then go park.
All right, where can we park? Just
Come on.
Whatever you
Probably
find.
Whitman Ave, yeah.
Yeah, you know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will probably end up in parking in the police lot, but there's plenty of spots around. But I'm
Okay.
sure it'll fill up.
yeah,
I
we'll
don't
be
know.
Early, so
I don't know. You know how they're going to block it off.
All right.
Eventually, they'll. You know.
I'll just have to figure out.
But that
where-
one street that runs up next to the park by the Park
Ave Cemetery?
No,
No,
well,
Fourth L.
Park Ave
Fourth L.
there, but the
Fourth
Maple
L.
Street is the right that runs next
Yes, yeah.
down by the playground. That's going to be closed at 8 because I guess they're going to have all kinds of
Okay,
touch
we
of truck
can't park
stuff
there.
there.
But there'll be also across the street, it's usually where I park, right? That whole area at the cemetery where the
Yeah,
stone wall is,
Yeah.
there's always plenty of parking
Yeah,
there.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll go looking around.
Hopefully,
and
I'm
figure
early
it out.
enough where I can get a real spot on South Ave, but we'll see.
I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can forward you guys. I'll forward it to
Or to
Ryan.
avoid the parking situation, I could have Dave just drop me off.
So this is
There you go.
this is what they're saying for parking.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
for drop off.
Wow.
So,
I mean, I could just get a ride up. I mean, I might not.
well, you have your chair, so you
Yeah,
you know
I'll
whatever.
just have Dave drop me.
Just don't bring Zeke. He'll
I'm not
drag you
bringing
all around. She's walking by my house the other day with Zeke, little
Little
French-
pug.
little pug.
He's pulling me because I'm not the one that typically walks him. My husband is. So when he was gone,
He knew he had the advantage. Let's just put it that
Oh,
way.
he sure did. But I finally got him to go home. Anyway, that's what he was doing. Because I'm not the walker. My husband is.
Anyway, so yeah, there's 66 attendees to Whitman Day, which is pretty cool.
That's great.
That is
Yeah.
good.
Pretty
great.
cool. I've never been, so I mean that's kind of bad.
I never have, so that's why I'm like, where do I park? What's the logistics here? Because this is the first year I'm actually able to go with
Yeah,
no
me too.
conflict or anything, which is good. Having a big party in the backyard the next day for my grandson's 4th birthday
There
party.
you go.
Jumpy house and everything. So there's going to be a lot of cars on that one.
That's all right.
All right, so yeah, so we talked about obviously Whitman Day as being kind of like the soft launch or the hard launch, I guess, for the application. Do we want to do any other outreach? Or do we think we need to? Or is the Council on Aging going to be doing a lot of that? I don't want to, because I'm more probably willing to reach out to Mary Holland over there to see.
I would suggest you reach out to Mary Holland and coordinate it with her.
Yeah.
Let her, she's part of the Friends
Right.
group, so she knows what, that we're launching it. But to me, that's the best place to go to get
Yeah.
it. And they do a pretty nice job marketing stuff. So
Yeah.
they're definitely, I think, more savvy at it than I am or we are.
Yeah. But also think in terms of like having one of us, and I don't mind doing this, going there and just maybe, I know that
I mean,
kind of answering questions that people
It might be a good idea to set up an informational day.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are both available during the day.
Yeah.
Well, you may not be as much now, but with school's out soon. But, it might be to set up something at the Council on Aging
Right.
to discuss it and answer questions.
I'm
and
available too.
Can I just ask applications? When are they? Is it fiscally or?
Fiscal 27
Yep.
tax year is what they're for. So,
Okay.
what did we say? October 1st was the deadline. And then
Yeah, I
we'd
think
make the decision before
And
the
what's
tax bills go out.
What's the criteria? Only because I got an email of someone asking. I thought was for real estate, but I suspect it was for this.
So I just checked the website and Josh did change it to you're the chair.
Yep.
But there is a email on that
Okay.
I've never been able to check. So
Okay.
the tax aid ad on the website. So
I
I
can
would
check with-
refer him to the website and then
What's the website?
It's on the Whitman. It's on
Whitman,
the it's on the Whitman town website.
Okay.
Because
I'll show
we're a committee here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a just like
boards and committees, and
Yeah.
find it. Yeah.
and there's an email there, so I would refer them to that.
Okay.
And then-
the criteria is there, like
All the criteria is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't we condense it so that it was just taxation fund committee? Or
yeah,
something?
tax aid.
Okay.
Yeah,
you know,
tax aid.
Yeah.
Whatever
But I
it
mean,
was, yeah.
there could be hundreds of emails sent to that email. I was
That's-
never able.
I got to check with Josh about that.
Yeah,
part,
yeah.
too.
I mean, I doubt there is, but
Yeah.
there's probably some anyway.
Yeah.
And they could be kind of old because that's been up for a while.
Yeah.
People will tend to come to the assessor's office on this kind of thing in the beginning,
Right.
Because they're
Right.
gonna,
yeah.
because
So
it is their
maybe-
real estate.
So
bill,
maybe you can work with her to get her a little bit more up to speed.
Yep.
And you can refer
Absolutely.
Yeah.
questions to I mean,
Yeah.
I'm as knowledgeable as anybody
We'll
is
print
as
out an
well.
application.
So,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
that's
between all
exactly
of us.
because if you're going to the Council of Aging, I would love to come along because
Yeah.
we can talk. I can explain the real estate aspect of it if they don't qualify for that.
Okay.
So we could do maybe even include a veteran agent
Okay.
because sometimes we all give some form of exemption.
Right.
So it may make sense.
So you're saying do it as a group. Hey, here's
Absolutely.
one for.
If you don't
Yeah.
qualify
For-
for this, perhaps you can qualify for
That's
that.
a great
or
idea.
if not
Actually, good
both.
idea.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Good job bringing her here.
You-
That's awesome.
It's spreading the word.
More than
right?
merrier.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
right.
Yes.
She's awesome. She really is.
Uh,
It's great.
Thank you.
Good stuff. It's all good.
So, so I think we can, I can talk to Mary Holland and we can maybe talk about working all that out in
Yes.
terms of a time that we can go and, especially, so like I said, October 1st is the application deadline for us. And then, and again, applications will come in and I guess the determination of who and how much will be determined by the committee looking through the applications based on a number of different criteria. But the individual, like in terms of the income levels that are, certain people, if you have above a certain income, you can't apply.
So speaking of that, we had income levels based on fiscal year 25 median in the Brockton area. And we have that link on there. So I went to that link yesterday. That information is no longer on that website.
You're kidding.
So I was going to think about updating it to fiscal 26, but I think we just leave it. If I dig more, I'm sure I'll find it. But the household, we have it listed on there, so I don't think we can change it now. So we're going off of fiscal 25 median income versus fiscal year 26. But I don't know that fiscal year 26 is even out there yet because we're in the middle of fiscal year 26.
That's the same way
Yeah.
values work. So I think that actually makes perfect sense.
To leave it as fiscal year 25. Okay. So we'll be, yep. All right. But if anybody goes to that website, they're going to have, I don't know that anybody will.
Yeah.
Because we have it listed on the application
Yep.
right there on what the median is.
Okay, yeah.
So it was that link right there where that information came from. And I went there yesterday and I was looking, see if I could find fiscal year 26. And I was like, oh, no longer what? It looks like they changed the way they're calculating it somehow.
Okay.
And so I just got to probably find where what pages they've moved this all to. Because it still went to the website, but that page is no longer available or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, crap. But I think it does make sense that we leave the fiscal 25.
Right, yeah.
It does.
Because who knows what people really are going to make in fiscal year 26 until it's over.
That's correct. We're in the middle of the year.
All right. Well, John, since you're already talking, I will now turn over to you for an update from the Friends of the Whitman Aid to the Elderly.
Yeah, so as some of you may have seen online, we postponed our trivia night fundraiser. We basically had, which was supposed to be next Wednesday, we basically had only four teams sign up. One of them was Mary Holland. One of them was my wife. One of them was Mike Ganchert downstairs. That was yeah.
I'm
All right, her
I'm
team.
trying to
No,
find
no,
a
no, no, no. I
team.
was on Mike's team.
Mike's
I
team.
want to sign
And
up, but I have to get a team together.
And then there was one other one, and
'Cause
it's
I'm
just
not that
there was
good
so
at it.
much going on, and it just this is June's such a crazy time, so we decided to postpone it to the fall.
That's a good
It's still we're considering that we still want to make sure it's in this fundraising time, so hopefully we'll do well. It's a little bit more pressure on us to raise more money, but other than that, it just wasn't going to work. But the other thing too, which is I've said all along, and from when I was on this committee and when I wasn't, that I really want to focus on the businesses, and I've been crazy busy this spring. My season ends this Friday night with the state championships out in Worcester for lacrosse. So I'm kind of open. I'm going to go hard after businesses. We've just found in what I think is a too good to be true website to collect donations. It's called Zeffy.com. And Zeffy.com is set up to basically work with nonprofits to maximize the money to collect. So 100% of what gets donated gets to the nonprofits. I don't know how this website makes money, but I guess similar to Venmo, where they hold on to your money until you get it out and they make interest on your money while they have it, I guess is how they're working on it. Not only that, if somebody pays with a credit card and there's a credit card fee, they don't deduct that either. So basically, if somebody pays $100 with a credit card, we get $100 from on that. So it does ask that they can make a donation to Zeffy and it explains it all. But anyway, that's the QR code that we're using now is the Zeffy one. I posted it online. I mentioned in my email that I sent the other day that I have a banner. The banner came in yesterday. It's awesome, and it has that big Zeffy QR code on it. So, and I checked it yesterday, and it works. So, and I got the $100 that I donated all came into our account. So it was great too, because not only it sends out basically a tax receipt to the donor. So basically, I made a donation from one email, and I got an email back saying, my company Di-Fi Video, and I get an email back with all the information that I needed for my tax receipt that I made a tax deductible donation to Friends of Whitman. So solves all of our issues we were having with Venmo, because as a business, Venmo was taking money out. So when we did our fundraiser for the March Madness fundraiser, it cost us probably, I don't know, at least a couple $100 to have people pay us through Venmo. But anyway, so that's resolved. So that's good news. And I'll be going hard after the businesses using that. Zeffy to have them, and it also allows for monthly payments too. So if somebody wants to make a monthly payment, reoccurring monthly payments, it'll allow for that.
Probably
so
looks like
I don't know how many people will do that, but maybe some of the businesses might. Right?
Some people
hopefully.
might.
Yeah, hopefully, and then that'll just keep going and going and going and going till they cancel it. So anyway, so I think fundraising, we're not as good as we wanted to be right now, but I think the future looks bright over the summer and into the early fall to get, hopefully we can at least, bring that up to, over 10 to close to 15. That would be awesome if we could.
Dining for a cause.
So I did get a text from Mary Holland the other day. Somebody was asking her if there was a limit on how much people could get from this fund, and my answer to her was technically there isn't, but that that those decisions are going to be made by the committee once we have all the applications in and once we have an idea of how much money we have.
Correct.
So I mean, if we have a bunch of applications, we're going to most likely try to spread it out a little bit, but we'll make that decision. If we get one application, they get a lot of money.
And it's got to, and you can look at, what are they getting for exemptions?
Yeah.
Who's
I
getting
mean, basically,
more
I
or
just
less
I
and
wanted
things
it to be
like
clear that this committee will make the decision once they have all
We'll
the
weigh
final,
each application.
once they have the final information. All the applications are in. This is the amount that we have. Voting on how much of that we want to use. Do we use it all, or do we, save some for next year or whatever? But that'll all happen after October 1st.
Correct.
But
Okay.
so that's it.
All right. Thank you, John. So the last thing on the agenda is just to set our next meeting date. As John intimated, summer's a little bit more difficult for me because but I have time in July. I do have time in July. August is a little bit trickier. So we have been meeting on the second. I guess the question is too: do we feel like we need to meet in July? Is there going to be business that needs to be dealt with in July? In terms of like if the committee is okay with me working with the assessor's office and with the veterans agent to do some kind of outreach to the Council on Aging, I don't know if we need to necessarily meet before that, but so I don't know if.
Well, it might be the only thing. If we're launching applications, it might be an idea. Just to see if any have come in.
Okay.
I mean, again, we do have an address to mail them in. Let me go back to that. Hold on. I don't know where that's going to go. Box 459. Is
Okay.
that?
I think that's mine.
That's your box.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right, so then
that works. We could just, if we get any applications in based on this launch, she can just let you know, and you can send out, hey, update. We have 100 applications.
Yeah.
It's good that you're getting.
That was funny. She's like, crap.
No, that's so sad. If there
I know,
was this
I know.
week, that's so.
But I'm glad they're going to your box because I sometimes get in trouble with the clerks because I don't always check the community preservation box, and they'll get I'll get an angry email, not an angry email, but I'll get an email from Kathy Keefe being like, you need to empty and usually it's just like those all that the stuff that everyone gets.
Yeah.
It's not actually because we have our applications are due in October for CPA stuff, so I don't check it regularly between and then after January when our final applications are done, I don't check it in the spring very much, and then she'll be like, you need to come check it. But so I'm glad that you'll be there to get those applications. So do we think that we want to schedule a meeting for July, or do we think we want to wait and see if we get applications? I'm asking the committee. Do you?
I'd say wait. I mean,
Yeah.
See what kind of applications you get from Whitman Day and
Yeah.
thereafter. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't foresee a lot coming out immediately because
And I also-
everybody will get in touch with them at Whitman Day and they'll be figuring out what's what. And maybe they might submit them after July 4th. Who knows?
Yeah. But also, there's a question too about does it make sense to be looking at applications as they come in, or wait till we get the deadline, we have all of them, and look at them.
I think we would need to look at all of them so we could kind of prioritize and things like that.
Right. That's what I would think too, because you
I think that's what we discussed that we would.
yeah,
do.
you just so we get applications, on Monday. I mean, we could get applications on the email. We could, So this is a question for
We
you.
said we can't email them. We wanted them
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
because
that
you
was
have all
my
that supporting documentation.
Right, yeah. Yep. I forgot about that. So, yeah, so I mean, if we get them in July, I mean, we just don't look at them.
We're not going to look at them.
We won't look at them until, Deb.
Oh, just my thought was, is there anything about dropping them off? Did we say where they should be dropped? If somebody's coming.
Yeah,
to
it's on
town
there.
hall,
Hold on.
I don't remember if
Yeah. Hold on. Let me
they
see.
said come to the where it was that. if you're
I
bringing
think
in
we
physical
started with.
To the council.
We changed the. Oh,
We did change the order of
we
where
changed
they
the
got
order.
dropped
Hold
off.
on. Hold on.
Just,
I think we said.
council on aging, then maybe the assessors, and then us. I just want
yeah.
everybody to be kind of aware of where they can be directed to.
Well, John is
Council on Aging, then the assessors, than the collector's is.
Okay.
So we may get them.
Okay.
Oh, that's the form is available
Oh,
at.
that's where the form is.
Oh.
Where
Please
is-
return completed
And
and signed
also-
applications. It says electronic copies not accepted to the town of Whitman. They're mailed to the post office box.
Yeah, we wanted to, so we shouldn't be dropping off. All applications should be mailed to the PO box because you're going to have all of that information.
and
And
it
then,
is private information.
but
Yeah.
you can get an application form at
From
Council
us,
on
yeah.
Aging or the assessor's office, or
Yeah, we'll have
so
to-
we'll need to
we'll
print.
have to print a bunch
Right,
of them.
right. So I actually, if we wanted to print a bunch, the Friends group can do that. We have an avenue to get printing donated. I'll just leave it at that, and it's not all from me. So if we want to print out a bunch of applications, I could do that, and have them actually for, I'll print a lot more, maybe I'll print like 200 and then I'll have a small box or something that I'll bring to that. So, does that make sense? And then what's left over, I can give to Jill Getchell and I can give to you guys, and we can have some at your office too.
So if somebody walks in though with their application,
Somebody walks in with their
says,
application.
"Here, I'm here to pay my bill. Who can I give this application to?"
The PO Box 459. You don't want to take them, do you?
We take it up,
to
but
me-
I just feel like
to
but
me,
if there's a
the
little
only
old lady in
office-
front of me saying, "Oh, now I have to walk to the post office," to, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the only office I would feel comfortable with them bringing it to is yours,
Okay.
because it's got all that tax information in it
Right.
and all that.
Well, we
so,
get that information.
I
with
mean,
exemptions,
I wouldn't want
too.
them dropping. Certainly not at the Council on Aging.
No,
or
no.
Not with you guys either.
Right.
Well,
so.
we get all that
Yeah.
though.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but we to me, and I'm not a voting member anymore.
Yeah.
But to me, we don't want them going all
Everywhere,
different
yeah, I
places.
get you.
That's why we want them mailed
I-
in and they go to
yeah.
her. So if anybody's going to walk in, I would think. So if anybody walks into the assessor's office,
Send them.
to.
upstairs.
Yeah,
Does that work with you?
that's fine. Yeah, I just gotta let
Yeah, let your crew know.
my crew know
Let
exactly.
me just throw a curve at you. Anything to do with the senior discounts or what is it? If you want some sort of application for abatement or
Oh, you
whatever.
mean exemptions?
Exemptions? Yes, that all goes to the assessor's office. So
Right.
But this fund is managed by her office.
This is separate.
okay, so that's why it would go. Okay,
Right. We're
Answers
not,
that
the
question.
assessors aren't gonna be making any
All right.
determinations on any of this.
okay.
I mean,
She's
as the
She's
assessor.
in charge. She's in charge of all funds. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but,
no, I realize that.
the abatement is different. They're not actually getting. They're getting money taken
But-
away.
Right.
Correct. We're actually providing money
Oh,
to
we
the
should-
town
abatement, yeah.
in replacement for whoever the applicant is. So our fund is taking money out, and where it's different in the assessors, if I'm correct, the money's just coming out, and then
Well, exemptions we get reimbursed.
yeah,
for.
true.
Yeah, because the senior application is just taken right off the tax bill. And basically, isn't this going to be the same thing? Or
No,
am I-
it's not.
Oh, it's not.
No, the money will actually transfer in, so they will get the. I don't know how that's going to work. You'll have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the law outlines exactly how it's supposed
Right.
to work. But we're donating money from our fund to help these applicants pay
Okay.
their property taxes.
Is it similar to like the senior work off? That type of thing?
No, because that's
A W two.
there's nothing. Yeah, that goes through payroll.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
But I think to Deb's point, I think if someone comes to the assessor, a little old lady comes to the assessor's office, I think directing her to go downstairs is not the same thing as directing her to go to the post office, right? It's just like, oh no, just go downstairs and
Right,
Or
right.
upstairs.
so,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
upstairs or wherever the
Yeah,
case
yeah,
may be.
yeah.
In order to
Yeah,
Um,
they're in the dungeon.
We're
okay,
in
yeah.
the dungeon.
Yeah, so go upstairs. Yeah, or just drop this off upstairs at the
Yeah.
treasurer collector's office.
Collector's
We don't
office.
take this; it goes upstairs. It's not quite the same thing as sending
Yeah.
them over to the post office and having them have to get an envelope and all this other stuff.
Right.
If we're worried about that, but I think I
I
mean,
I have
would hope that people would
I
mail
have
them
a
in.
feeling that Jill Getchell will volunteer to deliver them once they're done over there. But so if they finish it and they collect it and they have the whole packet ready, I bet Jill will bring it over. But instead of making them mail it as well. I mean, because it's going to cost. You're going to have a lot of. It's not going to be
a lot.
And they're going to
Yeah.
get nervous about mailing those documents
Yeah.
and
Well,
stuff.
could they drop them in the box? Is that
In the Dropbox?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could because
Yeah.
it's locked. I mean, it's no different than dropping your
Yeah,
tickets,
so address it PO Box 459 and drop it in the Dropbox is something they can do as well.
There you go.
Yeah, we want to make it as
Who checks that? Do you check that, or does
Dawn, right?
Dawn?
Usually Dawn. I think.
Michael or my office is usually
Okay.
on.
Yeah. That's what I
So
thought.
we can let Michael know.
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question, Ryan.
Yep.
When do you figure we might sit and start looking at the applications? The only reason I'm asking that is if we looked at them as they came in, there wouldn't. I'm not saying there's going to be a lot. I'm not saying there's going to be a little, but you can look at them to get an idea what different people are.
I think there's a thought I had about that too, which is if we get a lot,
Right.
looking at them to come in would make it easier. But I think the worry I would have is that you read one in July and you get we're human beings, so we're going to get
Yeah.
attached to certain
Okay.
things. And so I think looking at them all at once, it'll make it
Objective.
more
Right.
objective than being like, oh, but like Miss So and So sent this in July, and like
Yeah.
Deb's like she came to my window, and like I've been
We
thinking
don't
about
want
it for the
that.
last 3 months.
We don't
know,
want that
Right. So
True.
it's like kind of the idea that they all come in, and I think
objective.
they're not going to be electronic, right? They're going to be printed
No,
out. So
they're
that's I
gonna
was
be-
going to say, yeah.
because they got to be printed out with all of the supporting documentation.
Right. So that's
We want to be objective. We don't
'Cause
want to
that's-
get emotionally attached
right.
to a person.
Because the thing I was going to say is that this is where I'm like.
It's-
To Heidi's point, my multiple hats. Community preservation, they have to send paper copies, but also they email them, and then I distribute once the deadline is passed. I email all of the applications to all the members, so that they have multiple days to look at them before we come together and meet to discuss them. It's obviously much different because it's a smaller number of applications and whatever. So I mean, I think that's going to be a question to Ken's point about So we figure October 1 is the deadline. We'll have to,
right after.
yeah. So October 7th is the first Wednesday after that. We'll have to meet
Yeah.
on October 7th, and it might be something where that month we might have to meet.
Twice.
October
couple
14th and
Yeah,
October 23rd.
exactly. To go through them,
yeah.
depending on how many applications there are. Because if there are dozens and dozens, we have to make sure that we're looking through all of them and then prioritizing them. And it's it's going to be tough because there are 4 of us, and we'll have different ideas about what
That's what
what that prioritization is going to be, because we don't have a set criteria that it's going to be our individual things and voting on these things together. So it might be something where October we might be hanging out a lot, going over these if we need to, depending on how many there are. But I think, like I said, my first thought I had, I'm like, oh, we can just read them as they come in because then it'll be less work. But you're going to want to read them all together
True.
too, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so there's that part where you're going to have to be like, well, wait, what was that one in July? I have to read that one again, anyways. So then, just to be fair and objective, looking at them all at the same time once they're all in is probably the fairest way to do it.
I agree.
All
So-
right.
Great.
Now, when you say October 1st being the deadline, that draws a question mark in my mind, only because some people say postmark by that date, or it has to be in your hand and you or someone here has to stamp it with the date on it. When we say October 1st, are we going to say it has to physically be in our hand by October
That's what
1st?
we do with
Never
the
mind what the
exemptions.
postmark says, or what?
Well, hopefully, if it's postmarked October 1st, they can make it next door by October 2nd or 3rd.
Don't
So
count on it.
Well,
Well,
here's
no, I
the
think
thing with the exemptions. It's the date.
It's the date, so if it comes in October 2nd, it doesn't count.
But
Yeah, so I would
Why-
say we'd stick
Thank
with
you.
that.
well, I'd say I want to counter that
Okay.
and say that we're meeting on October 7th. We're not going to be meeting on October 1st. So I think
Right.
the idea that if it's postmarked by October 1st, I think is,
Get it by the 7th.
and then we'll have it. Yeah. So because we're going to come in and meet on the 7th, and the idea that what's happening. I mean, it's one thing obviously if there's one that's postmarked October 4th and we get it on the 7th, that's past the deadline.
Yeah.
But how are we going to necessarily even know if it's postmarked by October 1st, whether it got to, I mean, you'll know, right? Because you'll get them. But in terms of it's not quite the same thing. We're not going to be sitting down on October 2nd to go over
Right.
them. So there's a part of me where I'm kind of if someone mails it gets to the post office October 1st, we'll have it by October 7th.
That's what I was saying.
And so,
Yeah,
so I think it's like, so I don't know that I would, I mean, this might be something we have to vote on because it just says October 1st. It doesn't say, it doesn't say, let me pull up again.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It says,
applications are due by. So it does say due.
Yeah.
right. But what is that? But
So
I guess
we sometimes, when people are applying and they don't have all the information, they will submit the application in, and they will submit their the other documents. So the applications are due by April 15th, whatever date it is. But sometimes we give them a couple of days to bring in the
You mean
other.
So
okay.
based on that,
Yeah.
We give some grace.
I'm thinking we want to revisit when we start looking at the packets, not necessarily reading them, but looking at them and making sure they're complete. So if we're getting stuff in
Okay.
July
That's a good
and we
point.
open it, we don't have to go through it, but do they have this? Do they have this? Do they
check
have this?
everything to
Do
make
they
sure
have that?
everything is there.
So when do you want to do that? You're going to want to do that at a meeting. So maybe
do we have to do that meeting, or is that something like, for example, that I, as the chair, could just go,
yeah.
like,
wanna
so
take
Deb says,
that
well, no, I mean, but like, I can
Yeah,
check
but-
with Deb and be like, do we have applications? We got 5 in. I'm like, I'll take them. I'll just make sure they're complete. In the event that they're not complete, I can reach out to the applicants and say,
Right.
so they're not wait until October 2nd.
So you're not waiting until
But I'm not
October,
going
and
to
you-
read through them and like
Right.
evaluate them,
Exactly.
but just
no,
make sure that everything's
everything
complete.
is there.
Everything is there.
Because
that-
if you wait till October 7th to open them and half of them are incomplete,
Then
Yeah.
and we've had them for a month,
that's
Yeah.
what
you
time
know,
ticking,
it's going to be like, oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, I think to an earlier point someone made, like, we want to make this as smooth and easy for people as possible.
Right.
So I think that, like, that's why, and again, this could be something, again, the 4 of us can decide voting on, because it says due, it doesn't say, that to me doesn't necessarily, it isn't clear cut that it has to be, like, the word due, October 1st, I don't know. Deb?
Well, judging by how people pay their bills on the due date,
Yeah.
we give them a day's grace, sometimes two, because, your version of it's due May 31st, but I came on June 1st.
yeah.
It's kind of the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. I know, I just think that
This was a Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
It doesn't matter.
It's a
Right.
grace thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's like if it's postmarked by October 1st, I feel like they're sticking to the deadline
I agree.
in their mind,
Yes.
right? Like the idea that like they don't look at due October 1st. That means I hand it in to the
And
post
you-
office on October 1st. But
And you got to think about who the audience is,
Right.
who the applicants are,
Right.
and we have to kind of consider.
it might be a moot point too, because I mean, my thought might be that people might be like, they want to get this in because they want to get relief, right? So I think that the idea that they're like, I don't know that anyone's going to be necessarily maybe like
Late.
necessarily late, or that it might not end up being a problem. Everything might be in by September,
Right.
And then anyways, but I think that if my view would be, and this is just my feeling, if it's postmarked by October 1st, we're not even going to see it. You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like we're not going to see it till the 7th, so it's like they're all just
Everything
there, and
is.
arbitrarily setting these aside because the post office delivered them on the 2nd or the 3rd.
Right.
But they got them in on the 1st. Seems to be kind of like counter to kind of the general. I mean, there's another argument, which is that it's going to be maybe a hard decision. So I mean, this was when I've done other scholarship committees. Some people will be very, very, very strict about it, because then it eliminates some people we don't have to look at, and we don't have to make even tougher decisions. But obviously I don't know. I would have volunteered to be on the Women Aid to the Elderly and Disabled Taxation Fund if I wasn't soft-hearted. So I think that, like, I mean,
you got it. And
I think that
it's
that's,
the
I mean,
audience. It's not like these are younger people, right?
Right, yeah.
These people. I mean, just to get all those documents together and get them in one place and get them out the door.
Well,
to where they
Jill
need
said a
to
lot of
be.
these people they apply to a lot of things. So
Yeah, true.
when she's looking at it, she said, yeah, a lot of the people that I deal with are going to have all of this stuff and know exactly what they need to do. So that's why she was comfortable in thinking that they could do good work down there with it and help a lot of people, and they were excited about that.
Yeah.
So, Mary Ann.
So, I mean, Heidi, Ken, and Deb, are you guys okay if the way we handle it is that I reach out to Deb maybe in August or something, and just, or Deb, if you got a bunch all of a sudden in July, you can just email me and just be like, or send Steven after me,
And if you need
and
help,
then just be like, oh, we got a bunch, and I'll come by and get them, and I'll just go through them quickly to make sure they have all
Good
the
idea.
documentation.
if you want to take that on.
I don't want, but I don't know that we necessarily. It's not a thing that we necessarily need to have
No, we
A
don't need
meeting to-
Well, just
Yeah.
make it go quicker.
It might make it go quicker.
You
but
had
it's like-
20 of them, you know, you
Yeah.
get 5 to everybody. you
Yeah,
know?
but it's
check,
like I mean,
check,
but
check,
going,
check.
but you know, even if it's 20 of them, and I'm, you know, it might be like what an hour of time maybe for one person just to go
Check.
through and just check off
you're
things.
correct.
Yeah.
So it just seems like that might be just keeping things easy and straight in that way. Like in the event that there's someone passed it in and they don't have all the documentation, I can just, as the chair, reach out to them being like, we received your application, however, it is missing X, Y, and Z.
Correct.
Please
Gives them an opportunity.
gives an opportunity, and then that way it's not
Yeah.
a thing where we're looking at them on October
Okay.
7th being like, oh, this person didn't pass this thing in, this person didn't pass that thing in, and it gives them time to get it together before the deadline. And
Good.
so,
Okay.
if everyone's okay with that, I think that's just how I'd like to handle it, just to make it easier for everybody. So,
All right, so you'll look at them yourself
Yeah,
just to
yep.
make sure everything's there. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
and then so what I'll do is I think so maybe we'll hold off on scheduling the next meeting to see what
Yeah.
the need is, because like I said, it might we might not have very much to do once the applications are out there, once and things like doing outreach to the senior center. That's not necessarily something that we need a full meeting for.
No, we don't.
And then maybe so do you want to, I'm trying to think, do we want to schedule something for September?
That's what I was
That's what I was thinking myself.
in my
Yeah.
mind.
It just have like that. Like I said, we usually meet the second Wednesday of the month, so that's September 9th.
Ninth.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Okay.
Does that work for?
Yeah.
I know it works for Heidi. So,
Same time.
and then if
same place.
10:30 here, and then anything that if anything comes up that I feel like we need to have a meeting before then, I'll reach out to you and we can schedule something. But I just don't anticipate that being the case for right now. And then we can meet in September, kind of game plan how we're going to do
the evaluation.
the evaluations and things like that. Have it as kind of a pregame about that, and then we'll meet on October 7th, and then figure out based on the applications if we need additional meetings to go through them all.
Correct.
So, all right. So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.